Welcome to the Jackie Griffin Show. We are so glad to be back on air again. We're here at our new location on Allentown Road, and today we have some very exciting guests. First of all, I'd like to bring or introduce Ms. Leary, and she is the co-founder and president of the Prince William Humane Society.
Hi.
Welcome to the Jackie Griffin Show.
Thank you so much for having us.
And would you like to introduce the guests that you brought with you?
I brought Sonny and Ted Madsen, and they are our primary trainers in the Warrior Buddies program.
And you also have a very special guest also.
This is Dee Dee, and Dee Dee is one of our Warrior Buddies in training. And unfortunately, her Warrior Buddy couldn't come with her today, so we brought her. And she has just passed her good canine good citizen. I always screw that up. Canine good citizen certification last night. So she's well on her way.
So tell us a little bit about Miss Leary.
Well, I am the co-founder and president of Prince William Humane Society, and I've been involved in animal welfare for about 10 years now. I'm formerly a forensic accountant, and I'm retired from that, thank goodness.
Wow, what is that?
Forensic accounting is investigative accounting, typically in fraud cases, or I did a lot of marital dissolution cases, tracing the assets. And
like CSI?
Yeah, like
CSI.
CSI.
Okay.
And then you have to testify in court as to your findings, as to who stole the money and where the money ended up.
Oh, wow, awesome.
Yeah, it was fun, but I like dogs and animals a lot better. So I started an organization called Lucas, Let Us Consider Adopting Strays, in 2005. And our primary purpose was to help low-income families, pet owners, spay and neuter their pets because so many of them couldn't afford to do it. So we were subsidizing that, and we did that for several years. And then I was appointed to the Animal Advisory Committee in Prince William County, and I became friendly with the director of our local shelter, and every month she would come to the meetings and she would present to us the challenges that the shelter was facing. It's a very old shelter. It's never been updated. It's understaffed, underfunded, and it's just in bad shape, and they couldn't afford numerous things. They definitely couldn't afford any kind of subsidized adoption program. So in 2012, she and I got together and we created the Prince William Humane Society. And our primary purpose is to reduce the euthanasia rate, increase the save rate of the homeless animals at the shelter, because it is, unfortunately, it is a kill shelter. Although it's adoption guarantee, they won't euthanize for space or time. There are several that end up getting put down in a year. So we wanted to change that, and we created the Humane Society, and we created and implemented several programs, adoption programs and funds to help people adopt dogs and cats.
So what is your main mission at the Prince William Humane Society? To get the dogs adopted?
Absolutely, absolutely. We want to get them out the door alive and healthy. The quicker the turnaround, the better the chance that the dog is going to get adopted, the cats are going to get adopted, because they're not going to get infected with one of them coming in sick, getting a respiratory disease, and then reinfecting and reinfecting. They just don't have the facility or the ventilation system or anything like that to prevent that type of thing, and that's where a lot of the euthanasias come from, is illness and sometimes cage aggression. If the animals are there too long, we get a little worried about their mental state. But yeah, so our whole purpose is to get the animals out healthy and get them adopted into new loving families where everybody can be happy.
And your trainers help you, how do they help with the animals?
Well, one of our programs is the Warrior Buddies program. That was one of our primary purposes in establishing the Prince William Humane Society. And the reason we wanted to do that is because we are very close to Quantico Marine Corps Base and Fort Belvoir Military Hospital. We feel a great debt, to our service members, and we were sitting there saying, we've got all these dogs. We have large breeds are more difficult to get adopted, and they also make good service dogs or therapy dogs. So we had heard about other organizations inside the Beltway that were doing adoption programs with shelter dogs to service members, and we thought we could, we were in a position, we were a perfect fit for an adoption program similar to that. So we started the Warrior Buddies program, and we need trainers, because what we do is we take homeless shelter pets, dogs specifically, and we adopt them to wounded service members who have applied to us. We pay for the vetting, we pay for the vaccinations, the microchips, the spay and neuter, and their adoption fee. And then they're adopted out to the wounded service member, and then our trainers come into the picture. And well, first they're in the picture well before that. They are the ones who pre-screen the dogs and evaluate them to determine whether they will make a good service dog or not. And then once the dog is adopted, they take it from there and they do all the training for us. And that's all at no cost to the service members.
Oh, that's awesome. So basically you train the dog to that particular service member's needs?
Yes, it's all on an individual basis. It'll depend on whether or not they need a therapy dog or a service dog, and what the tasks are, and where the dog is coming in from ground zero, if they have any training at all, or if somebody like Dee Dee, who is a wonderful dog, but she's moved along at a very fast pace. When she came to us, she'd never even seen pavement. But she's been very willing, and she definitely has the traits that we look for when we're looking for a dog for a wounded warrior. It's important to us to see the temperament along with the affection level, but also they have to be smart dogs.
And health and age are also a factor. Because we don't want to bring a difficult dog into a situation where they're supposed to be helping. And also age, there's, when you're putting the time in to train a service dog or a therapy dog, you definitely you want a dog that's going to have a long serviceable period with that wounded warrior.
Wow. Well, that's close to my heart, being a veteran and everything, and I know how important it is to honor and do things to help our military service members who have gone to war and came back and really need sometimes just a companion.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have companion adoptions also, but we primarily, the Warrior Buddies Wounded Heroes program primarily concentrates on those that need a little bit more than a companion. They need a therapy dog or a service dog that will do specific functions for their specific needs. And we feel that we owe that to them. And what better than a homeless shelter dog that is just looking for a second chance. And so.
Well, I know that you're a 501c nonprofit.
That's correct.
And if anybody wants to contribute, that even want to help or come and volunteer at the shelter, can you look into the camera and give them your information, how they can contact you, how they can go online to make contributions, whatever they want to do to help this very, very needed program?
Sure, absolutely. We are always looking for donations and sponsorships, volunteers and fosters. And if you go to our website, www.pwhumane.org, you can go to our Get Involved page or to our Donate page. You can fill out a volunteer form. You can go through PayPal right then and there and give us a donation. And you can just email me at lori@pwhumane.org, and I'll be happy to discuss any options that you want with you.
Do you have any functions or fundraising events that are coming up for your shelter?
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, we do. Go ahead.
Absolutely. We actually have several. We just received a very generous donation of soldier bracelets. This is one right here.
Nice.
Isn't that pretty?
Very.
Jenny Caro of Jewelry by Design gave us 107 of these lovely bracelets, and 100% of the proceeds from these bracelets will go to our Warrior Buddies program, and we're selling them for $75 for the women's and $50 for the men's. So that was a very generous donation. We're very pleased with that. We have and several fundraisers coming up in the near future, and we'll let them talk about theirs in a second. But the Philistines Motorcycle Club is putting on a poker run on October 10th in Prince William County, and we are going to be the recipient of a portion of those proceeds from the poker run, and we're very pleased about that they chose us. Prince William Humane Society is hosting our 3rd annual Wags and Wine at Barrel Oak Winery on September 20th.
Wow.
And that's a real fun event. That is bring your dog, come to Barrel Oak Winery, wine tasting, t-shirts, just enjoy the day. We have a silent auction. That's a really good time.
Oh, sounds like fun.
And then Sit Mean Sit is hosting an event.
We are doing the Pet Extravaganza in historic Manassas, August 29th and 30th from 10 to 6. There's going to be a lot of vendors there, up to 60 vendors, events for kids, agility courses, food. It's going to be a fun time. So it's going to be on the 29th and 30th. If you're interested in sponsoring or being a vendor, all the proceeds are going to Wounded Warriors. You can contact tmpetevents@gmail.com. And we'll direct you in the right direction.
Can you give them that information one more time and just a little bit slower?
Sure. It's if you're interested in being a vendor or a sponsor, you can reach out to tmpetevents@gmail.com.
Awesome. And the date again?
The date is the 29th and 30th of August from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day.
In downtown Manassas.
In downtown historic Manassas.
All right. And it's an event for dogs as well. You can bring your animals with you, right?
That's
Well,
right.
it's actually for the
Absolutely.
animals.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
really
Dog
nice.
vendors, hats, shirts, collars, any number of things that you can think of for dogs, they'll be there.
Real quickly, can you give your information again in reference to the Humane Society, and then we will take a quick break.
Sure. It's www.pwhumane.org, and our Facebook page is the same, facebook.com/pwhumane.org.
We'll be right back on the Jackie Griffin Show. Welcome back to the Jackie Griffin Show, and I'm back on set, and I need to take care of some housekeeping. My boss just told me that you need to like and subscribe to view more on WTTS Radio. Follow me on Twitter at Mama Griffin. Also follow me on Facebook at Jacqueline Griffin. And we're back with Miss Leary.
Hi.
And am I saying your last name right?
It's Leary, but
Leary.
I'll-
Leary.
I'll respond
Please
to
tell
anything.
us more about the Humane Society.
Love to. As far as the Warrior Buddies program goes, we were discussing on the break that what about cats? And obviously for the Wounded Heroes program, we can't have service cats because I only know Jackson Galaxy's the only person I know that can train cats, and he's not willing to come and do that. So we don't have service cats, but we do have a second part of our program, which is a military family adoptions. So anybody who has military ID can come to the Prince William County Animal Shelter and pick an animal that's available for adoption, and
wow.
they pay half, and Prince William Humane Society pays the other half. And in 2 years, we've adopted over 250 homeless animals to military families. So that's a pretty good return on that investment.
Yes.
Yeah, we're real happy with that program. And then the other thing I wanted to tell you about was our plans for creating a Warrior Buddies Training and Adoption Center, which we're currently working on. And what the Training and Adoption Center would do would give us the opportunity to work with the shelters in our area, who every once in a while they'll call me and say, we've got this really great dog that we think would make a good service dog. Do you want to come and get it? And we can't because we don't have a wounded service member that's currently, on our list. So when we have no place to keep the dog because we don't have our own facility yet. So we want to create a training and adoption facility where when these calls come in, we can go and send our trainers. They'll evaluate the dog, pre-screen it, make sure the temperament's right, and then we will adopt it from that shelter, take it to our location, and it will be housed at our center, and it will be socialized, it will be trained in basic obedience. We have volunteers that'll come in and play with the dogs and just get them ready, showing their true personalities so that when we do have an applicant come forward, they will have 4 to 6 dogs to pick from, rather than the way it is currently when we have an applicant and once they've been accepted into the program, we take them to the shelter. Once the animals have been selected, we take them to the shelter and let them see which one they're going to bond with and hope that once it's adopted, the personality doesn't change drastically.
Right.
We haven't had maybe a couple that had to be returned in 2.5 years, but we would prefer to do it where we know the animal's personality. We are confident that we are adopting a good, qualified, easy to work with animal to these wounded service members so that it's easier on them, the transition's easier on everybody, and the actual service or therapy certification is easier to accomplish.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Sonny and Ted can tell you more about our training process and why this is so important to the program that we get this center up.
It's important as far as the training, because if you just give a dog to somebody who says, oh, this dog is cute, that's not a connection. Or if we say, you're number 2 and so here's your dog, it has to be, there's a certain amount of chemistry that has to go on. It's a lot of times they'll say the dog picks the soldier. It's not always the other way around, but there's a lot of validity to that because there needs to be a special bond. This is going to be a lifetime friendship. This isn't going to be a dog that's going to sit in a kennel all day or go to doggy daycare and never interact with the family. And depending on what the need of the soldier or their family member is it going to be a service dog where it's really going to be a Velcro dog attached to their hip everywhere they go? If that's the case, there are medical tasks that they need to be able to provide, they need to be trained on, and we're a firm believer that they need to do that training together because by doing it together, they build the relationship that they have. Or is it a therapy dog, which is more of a dog that gives and receives affection freely that you can go out and share? That's where last year we did the Toys for Tots, and all of our therapy dogs lined up and we got to participate while the kids got off the bus and went through the fire department and got all their toys.
Well, that was with Fairfax County Fire and Rescue. They had some 3,000 kids come to get jackets, toys, meet all our dogs, Santa Claus, and then...
Yeah, and that was amazing, but that's the role of a therapy dog, not the role of a service dog.
Okay.
A service dog is not a pet. A service dog is a working dog. So it's not the dog that you run up and hug and give kisses. That dog is working when it has a vest on. Whereas a therapy dog is a dog you do run up and give kisses to after you ask permission.
Yeah.
Always ask permission. But so we really have to be clear on determining what the role is for the dog and the soldier. And we also need to make sure that the home environment is good, that they're capable of taking good care of that dog, that they have the right amount of room, they're able to give the dog exercise. Because even though the dog is there for them, they're not robots. They need to be in good health. They need to be properly groomed. We donate all the time in the training at no cost, but when we give these dogs to them, along with all that love and affection and training, there's a cost that comes along with that because they're going to need to take it to the vet. They're going to need to make sure it gets groomed. And we need to make sure that that's a good fit and that there's a clear understanding of what their expectations are supposed to be.
So you inspect the homes. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
And part of the importance of when Lori was talking about having a facility and having the dog's true personality, if you've ever known, or anybody that's watching that's ever adopted a dog before, often you see the dog in the shelter and you see a particular behavior and, oh, they're so sweet, and you bring them home and you've got about a 1 to 2 week honeymoon period where the dog's adjusting to the new environment and they're like, oh, what's going on? But then any kind of behavioral issues or whatever, they'll start to come out in that 1 to 2 week period, and that's often when we get calls on our business side to help with behavior modification and training and that type of thing. So it's important that those dogs come out so we can see what's going on with them and we can adjust that behavior so that we put them in a place to be successful.
And the thing is, we don't want the wounded service members that are just taken on the chore of having to train the dog, get to know the dog. We don't want to put them through that. So having the training and adoption center, that will all be over with. We'll have done the behavior modification, the socialization. They'll be good around other dogs. They'll know sit and down and stay and how to walk on a leash, and so that's going to just make it that much easier on
I have
them.
a dog for you that a grand doggy that needs some training, but that sounds great. So what you're saying is the dogs that are trained to work, they will always have these vests on.
They're not required to have a vest. It's not mandated. It's just a nice way to recognize a dog.
Gotcha.
But you may have a dog that has a therapy vest or a service vest. For instance, if you have say you have a soldier that has a dog for PTSD, more than likely he's not going to put PTSD all over that vest.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
And so there has to be a certain amount of educating the public as well to respect that.
Right.
And just if it says I'm a working dog, then you can assume it's a service dog. If it says
Okay.
I'm in training, it could be a service dog, it could be a therapy dog. But the
Okay.
vests are just kind of a nice way for the public to kind of go, oh, that may be a working dog.
Correct. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So who do we have here with us?
This is a sleeping dog. Dee-Dee, come here, girl. Hi, baby. This is Dee-Dee, and she actually belongs, she's one of the newest to our program. She belongs, big
Oh, she's
stretch.
stretching.
Yes,
Nice
well, thank you for
stretch.
that. Come here, baby. She's actually
you.
wonderful. Good girl. Good girl. She belongs to one of our wounded warriors who is in active service right now, so he's not able to be with us. He is a recipient of the Purple Heart, so
Awesome.
like with all of our soldiers, we thank them from the bottom of our heart for what they do and what they sacrifice for us. Dee Dee has just come to live with him for probably,
Just a few weeks.
it's only, I want to say he's had her for maybe about 2 months. So we got her in March, and she literally came to us with no training whatsoever. She had lived in a small area on a farm, and she was well taken care of, but she was never socialized. She didn't do simple things like recognizing a car or pavement or walking on a leash. She had never experienced.
Wow.
So she's come a really long way in a very short amount of time, and she has found her soulmate. And they are the best of buddies, and they're still training. She received her Canine Good Citizen certification last night, so she is well on her way to getting to the level that she needs to be.
Well,
but she is still in training.
She's well behaved for to be
But-
still in training.
Yes.
But you recognized when you were evaluating her that her personality was such,
Yes.
despite the fact she had no training, that her personality was such that she would make a good service or therapy dog.
So what kind of personality does she have?
When she's awake, she's very affectionate. She's had a long day. No, she's a very affectionate dog. She's not easily spooked. So she's not a nervous dog. She didn't come with a lot of anxiety. She's dog friendly. She's people friendly. She's very willing to please. So you don't want to take an anxious or a neurotic dog. We know how to train them through that, but that's not a perfect candidate. You don't want to give someone a problem to work with.
Right.
So
Right.
those were the things we were looking for. She's at the right age. She's about 3 years old, so she's got a long life expectancy. She was very healthy, and she's taken to the training with no problem, and she enjoys it. She really does. She's also now she has slimmed down quite a bit, and she's a much healthier dog, even though she was in good shape when we got her. And they exercise together. They go almost everywhere together. It's a really nice bond to see what's going on.
That's awesome.
And she really represents the extent of our bit. I mean, we run a for-profit business, Sit Means Sit, in Northern Virginia, but a big part of our business is we want to help the community as well. And so we have 2 therapy teams with Sit Means Sit that go out to work with Fairfax County Fire and Rescue, Prince William County Fire and Rescue. We go to assisted living, kids reading to dogs program, and get a lot of exposure out there helping people in the community. And when we met with Leary to talk about Warrior Buddies, it really was a good fit for what we wanted to do.
Yeah. And the majority of our trainers now are their employees, them and their
Awesome.
employees. So
Awesome.
it's a really good fit for us.
Yeah.
And as a result, we can take on more dogs and do the training for more dogs. So if anybody out there knows of an individual who could benefit from a therapy or a service dog, please give us a call or let us know.
Absolutely.
Go online to our Warrior Buddies page and fill out an application, and we'll be more than happy to work with you.
And I think you brought some more of your beautiful animals with you, did you not?
We did. We brought some graduates from the program with us.
We will go on a commercial break on the Jackie Griffin Show, and we'll be back with some more of these well-trained animals.